Yo, it's Captain coming at you. I gotta find a better intro with with a Dark Souls Diary number 22, and this one's gonna be a little bit different for a couple of reasons. One, we didn't get anywhere today, and two, I'm pissed off about it. So this is gonna be a bit of a rant. I might title this. No, but make it productive though. Probably. I don't know. I might title this "Why RPGs Suck," or or how RPGs waste your time, because I hate them. I hate RPGs. It's one of my favorite genres. I hate them. I legitimately hate RPGs. And I thought of 3 points. This can be a topic video. This is how they probably should be. This can be a topic video more than like, a recap of what we did during the stream. But it's still gonna be that, okay? Because I've thought of three reasons why RPGs have pissed me off today. And I have 3 scenarios that happened on the stream that we can go through. I'm gonna do. Look, I don't organize these videos. I just go off the cuff. This is a very slight bit of organization. So we'll see how it works out. But we played Dark Souls today. Okay? We got nowhere. I think I killed a total of 6 new enemies. 6. 5 of them were the same creature. Like, they were, there's multiple of them. They were all the same blue dragons at the entrance to Dragon Town, okay? One of them was a boss. And you think, well, that's pretty cool. A boss, right? Like, that's got to count for like 100 or something, right? It did not. And we will see why. In fact, that brings us to our first point. Because it's the first thing we did on stream. The first reason, leveling sucks. No, levels suck. Why do levels suck? Okay. So the first thing we had to do today was, we'll figure out what to do. But then we decided, all right, I had done everything in the forest. This whole recap, the recap portion, will be the last bit of the forest to the entrance to Dragon Town. And if you can map those 2 out in your head, you'll realize just how little space I covered today. So we needed to finish the forest, okay? And the only thing left in the forest, right? We went past the door of Artorias. It was the bridge to Artorias, right? Or his resting place, or whatever. There was a bridge. There was clearly a boss door, and everybody was talking about that's where Artorias' bullshit is. I was scared because I had a really hard time in the past the door of Artorias for various reasons. Check the last recap. I was scared. There was a lot of messages up on the soapstone and whatever that this was sad and despair and terrible and just all the things that people say when it's going to be a tough boss. I saved it for the next play session, which I had to wait, right? It's been a little bit since I played Dark Souls. I was kind of nervous about you coming back. I was nervous for other reasons too, just because of me. But so I'm just kind of like, I'm a little scared going straight into a boss, feeling a little rusty, not feeling super confident, right? I'm like, all right, I guess we're going to do this boss. I guess it's going to be a tough time. I'm not in the greatest place. It might be tough. I'm like trying to mentally prepare for a whole stream where I'm just losing to a boss the whole night. We get in there. It's a big arena. There's a big tombstone. There's like swords everywhere. There's tombstones everywhere. I'm like, oh geez. It's like a huge. There's no boss. And I'm like, well, maybe it's all right. But it's like huge arena. Like clearly there's gonna be a boss. There's blood spots all over, and you could we clicked on a few. Like you could watch the guys go oh and die, which is always really funny. I get close to the gravestone. Artorias does not show up. However, his dog does. And I actually knew this because it's kind of a famous thing As soon as we had read some lore bits that Artorias had a wolf that was really loyal to him and whatnot, I kind of put it together in my head. It's like this might be the dog boss. And sure enough, it was the dog boss, and I felt kind of bad because I had to fight the doggo. But what else she gonna do, right? I don't know if there's a good ending where you don't have to fight the doggo, but we had to fight the doggo, and I'm prepping for this. The fight was super easy. It was beyond easy. We one-shot the boss. I think I got hit like twice, and I wasn't really good at rolling the attacks. The attacks were pretty well telegraphed, so it wasn't like they surprised me, but I still got the timing wrong on probably half the attacks, and it didn't matter because as long as you rolled like generally in the wolf's direction, the sword wouldn't hit you, right? And when I did mess it up, it wasn't a big deal. I had no problems just taking an Estus. Didn't hurt me that much, and I fucking chonked his HP. Now, I have an Unga Bunga giant Smo's hammer build, okay? And it's pretty strong, but like... we were clearly overleveled. Okay, now, possibly, all right, look. RPGs suck because of levels. And that point I'm gonna make. Now, this is my evidence that I'm using. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know this game really well. Maybe the boss is intentionally supposed to be super easy, so you feel really bad about beating up a doggo. Maybe there's some huge lore reasons why this doggo's very easy or something. However, I don't know any of that. All I know is that the boss was super easy and I felt remarkably overleveled. Just remarkably overleveled. Which doesn't make sense to me because it's kind of hard to get there. So I'm like, what's going on? But it gives me a chance to whine about RPGs, and like I said, I'm a little bit pissed off today. So I'm gonna whine about it. Levels suck. Why do levels suck? Because you're never the right level. You're never the right level. If you're too low level, the game's way too hard. If you're too high level, the game's way too easy. What do? Well, Captain, just be the right level. Okay, alright. Figure out the right level for the entire flipping game. Write it down and make sure that the order that you're gonna go in doesn't overlevel you past the optimal route, because I guarantee you, if you do everything, if you just organized everything in the game from easiest to hardest and said, well, I'm going to go in that order, that way I'm never overleveled and underleveled, I guarantee you, you will be overleveled by like a third of the way through, because the games are made, the games are always made so that, well, what if they don't do half the content? Well, we got a plan for the player who doesn't play the game, so we better make sure that if you do step 1, 2, 3, you'll be overleveled for step 4 because somebody might have skipped step 2 and 3. That's the normal scenario. There's also a scenario where they say, well, we want to make our game hard, and so everything you do is underleveled. Right, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll still be way underleveled. You go 1 through 100, you will be way underleveled. But you know what happens in those games? They have like a grind area where you're supposed to grind, where you gotta go do random battles. You just gotta fight the same enemies over and over and over until you're the level that you feel like you should be for the boss. Now, in Level's defense, you do get to kind of pick your difficulty here. You get to be like, well, I'd like to do the boss easier, so I'll be overleveled. Or I'd like to do the boss at a normal, so I will be on level. Or I would like to do the boss hard, so I will be underleveled. However, you don't get to do any of that because you don't know how the game works. You haven't played it yet. You haven't played it yet. You don't know what level you should be. You don't know where the areas are. You don't know where, how grinded you should be. You're never the right level. You have to research it, go through, write it all out, and plan it. You have to play the game in theory. Write it down and make sure you follow your script to the letter, or else your levels are going to be messed up. And I hate it. I hate it. I just want to play the game at like either a designed intentional difficulty from the designers, or as a choice from myself to be like, I would like to make it harder, or I would like to make it easier, right? So, like not an RPG, so they don't have to guess what level I am. And then some difficulty options. You know what? Wouldn't that be simple? Wouldn't that be nice? That was number one. That was number one. I told you it's not your ranty. That was number one. Number two is what should I make number two? I actually have two options. I will go in order. The menus. Menus. I hate menus. I hate menu gaming. I hate anytime I am in the menus dealing with menu stuff instead of playing the game. I am having a bad time because I would rather be playing the game. I have this much time carved out for playing the game, and now I'm only spending this much playing the game. That's a discrepancy. I wanted this much playing the game. So my time is being wasted. I didn't talk about time being wasted for the levels. My time was wasted on that boss because I could have had a better boss fight if I had done that at the proper level and enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy that. I mean, it was something, but it was like I bigged myself up to like a big thing. I was ready, and it was nothing. It was nothing. It was essentially a regular mob that took a couple extra hits. Wasted my time. Menus waste my time because every time I'm in a menu, my time is wasted. How does this? What's my evidence for this? The entirety of the stream. Well, after the boss fight, to about where the dragons, we got to the dragons, most of that was spent in the menus, trying. Oh my God, what did we even do? I think I've blocked it out. I think I've blocked it out of my mind. Like going through the menus, trying to work out gear, trying to figure out what to do, trying to figure out how to do upgrades. You know what? I should make 4 points because gear upgrades are a huge pain in the ass, and that's why I spent so much time in the menus. So, 2.5 point bonus point. Gear upgrades. Upgrading gear sucks. It is not fun. I had to make another weapon because now the boss was dead. Where do I go next? Well, there's a couple places to go. One of those places is the catacombs. The reason I haven't done the catacombs is because when I went in there, my weapon was too big and it bounced off the walls and I literally couldn't swing it and hit anything. So I need a different weapon in order to do the catacombs. Why didn't I switch to another weapon? Because the weapons have levels. Even the weapons have levels. We have to upgrade the weapons. I can't just switch to a different weapon. It's level 0. That's not good enough. My weapon needs to be upgraded to be on par with the previous weapon. I could switch to it. I could use it. It would not bounce off the wall, but it would do 0 damage. And then I will die because now the area's way too hard for me. Levels. We heard you liked levels, so we put them everywhere. We put levels in your levels so you could level while you level, and then you hate everything. So I'm spending a ridiculous amount of time in the menus trying to figure out, I'm like thinking, what's the next thing to do? Well, one of the next things to do is the catacombs. I can't do the catacombs until I get one of my weapons right. So I'm like, okay, what do I have on me? What progress can I make to that? Can I progress it enough? Right? Or do I need to do something else? So now I'm having to sit here and make some choices, which isn't the menu's fault making some choices. To be fair, that is just choice in the gaming, open world, open design, non-linear design. That's technically okay, although it did frustrate me because I would rather be playing. But then it's like, all right, well, I have this many souls from beating the boss, right? I can level up. Okay, well, or should I save some for the item I need to level up? And it's like, well, what do I need to level up the item? Okay, well, I need souls. Okay, well, I can do it. I can't do it because I also need level up items. Okay, well, I can buy the level up items for souls. Okay, well, I can only do that if I go to the person you can purchase the level up items from. So, like, well, do I need to go there instead? It's like, well, that's a lot of souls to be running around with. Or, well, it's not that hard to get there. What? And then it's like, well, now I got to do a calculation. Now I gotta pull out a calculator and calculate. Well, like, how many souls, right, does it cost to get the level up item? How many do I need? I gotta math them out. Then, like, how many souls is the level up itself? Right? What am I doing? I'm working on a spreadsheet right now. This is not playing a video game. I am spreadsheeting. And then, like, I have to figure out it's like a quantum word problem because I'm trying to decide what to do, right? I have to solve the word problem in if I pick this choice. And then I have to solve the word problem if I pick a different choice. And then I have to compare, like, which one can I do and which one's going to be more efficient and which one's going to, like, save me more time. Because if I pick the wrong one, Lord knows how much time is wasted because I'm running all over the place doing things inefficiently because the game doesn't care. Game doesn't care about your time. It's an RPG. It doesn't care about your time. It wants you in the menus. It wants you running calculations. It wants you making a spreadsheet. It wants you pulling out your character sheet and working on it with your theory craft for 3 weeks before you even sit down to play the video game. Because apparently, some people think that's fun. Good for those people. They're winning the RPG game. I'm telling you. I am not. Every time in the menu, I spent way too much time in the menu trying to figure all this out. I think I finally just gave up and, like, leveled and then, like, look, I'm gonna go to, like, another place and we'll get some souls on the way because I had soul items, right? I have soul items in my backpack and I can cash those in for souls, right? So there's add another, like, dimension to the calculations I gotta do. Well, I could use some of these items, but I don't want to waste the items, right? Because souls, like, you can die and lose them. Look, I don't mind the souls mechanic. As for levels up and for farming enemies, like, as you, like, level up and stuff, but I don't like it for weapon upgrades. And I don't like weapon upgrades in the first place because they reduce experimentation, they reduce like flexibility and buildcraft because I'd like to try out this weapon. Oh, I can't until I level it 300 times. Well, how do I level it 300 times? Well, I have to get a bunch of souls, but the souls don't come naturally, right? They're kind of valuable, and I can't hold on to them because I might lose them. So I never, like, hold on to a bunch to just throw 300 levels at a weapon because that would be irresponsible. So in order to get the 300 souls, I'm going to have to go specifically farm them, which we could make a fifth point. This is point 2.8 of why RPGs suck and waste your time, because you have to go level. And we even talked about that in point 1. I don't like to go level. No one likes to not play the game and just go grind some stuff. I like grindy games. I like games that are about grind. But games that aren't about grind, that arbitrarily make you go grind for a little bit, suck because the grind isn't part of the game, right? It's just that chore. It's like having to do a daily quest. It's just the chore you have to do. You don't want to do it. No one wants to do it. When they remake Final Fantasy and put it on the computer, they, like, let you skip it. They let you cheat it in. They let you cheat in the grind because they know no one likes it, and they don't even make games like that anymore because everyone hates it. But that's what you'd have to do to try out a new weapon. That's what you'd have to do. You have to sit there, run all these calculations. You have to look at all this stuff. And of course, the menus, this is a 100-year-old console game. So there's the menus don't even. I have to like quit out of the menu, go into a new menu. Wait, which items did I have? Quit out of the menu, go into the menu. What? How does this work? Okay, quit out of that menu, go into this menu. I equip the item. Does it have more attack, less defense? Go out of this menu, go into this menu. Oh, that's right. This menu doesn't give me the full attack. Doesn't give me the full picture. I have to go out of this menu and check my swing stats. Why am I doing all this? Why is all my time being wasted in menus just to figure out which weapon is better? Why? 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 Okay, all right. 100-year-old console game port. Right. Okay, menus are bad. It happens. Hopefully modern games are better, and usually they are. We'll chalk it up to that. We'll chalk it up. We'll chalk the really bad UI up to just being a 100-year-old game. Okay? 100-year-old console game. Okay, whatever. I feel like I've ranted on this one long enough, but I could rant on menus for longer than this. A lot longer than this. Believe me, I hate them that much. So, but suffice it to say, a large part of the stream was in the menus, trying to figure out how to upgrade weapons, trying to figure out the best way to do so that I could make this work, and just to get one new weapon for the catacomb. And also, should I tell this part? This is depressing. It's actually 0.3. It's actually 0.3. So there's your menus. That's how they waste your time. And that's why RPGs suck. The 0.3 gets into the last part of what we did. Well, this isn't actually the dragons. It could be. I'll tie it in. I'll find a way. So a large part of the stream was doing all this bullshit, trying to level up a weapon and trying to make some good choices, but also trying to level up some other weapons because how do I present this? The last point is esoteric bullshit. And I looked up the word esoteric just to make sure I was using it properly. I think I still have it up. There you go. Related to or being a small group with specialized knowledge or interest. There's 3 definitions, but they all rely on that specialized knowledge. In other words, stuff that only very specific people who've looked into it know, right? Really esoteric bullshit that no one knows intuitively. The only way you're going to get it is you look it up somewhere. What's my evidence for this? So, after all of our time in the menus and figuring out and fucking running the 7D chess to figure out our souls and how to upgrade something, I actually upgraded something to plus 10. We had to run over to a different blacksmith who sold the special level, because you don't, just not just one level up material that only gets you so far. Then you need another level up material because grinding weapons is ass. So then we go to the giant blacksmith, and I have to run calculus to try to figure out how many big titanite shards I need, and how many souls I need to pop to be able to buy them all. We get the axe up to plus 10 because I decide I'm going to use the axe because I like the axe, and there's another goal I'm trying to have, which is the boss soul weapons. They are interesting. I think they're cool. I'm using Smo's hammer. And I have other boss souls. And now that I know how it works, you plus 10 a weapon. I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we tried out some others? I've got several boss souls. People told me you can get an axe, right? From one of the boss souls I had. And I'm like, well, I have this axe that I like, and I know how to do it. I'll plus 10 it, and we'll see what happens. Now I plus 10 so we did all the calculus. I plus 10 to my axe. Wasn't there. I asked people, I was like, well, does this blacksmith not do it? Do I need another blacksmith? What's going on? And I was asking a lot of questions because I have to ask a lot of questions, right? Because people said it's fun to experience the game first by yourself and just discover it on your own. So, but I'm like busy and this game is confusing and I'm also streaming. And so the way we have that is okay, I'll experience it naturally and on my own, but I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions for you guys to kind of help me out and lead me along so we can make this playthrough really fun and see all the cool stuff that I definitely would have missed if I was just doing it by myself. And so I can, y'all can help me pay attention because some of my attention is devoted to the stream. So, we help each other out. I pay a little attention to you, you pay a little attention to my game, and we do this together. It's our playthrough. We have a great stream, we have a great time. Unless I fuck up, which I do constantly. Constantly, and everybody's like, oh, what am I doing here? Which probably happened today quite often. So finally someone says, oh, are you trying to make the axe? And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to make the axe. And they go, yeah, you leveled up, you didn't level up an axe. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's look at it, it's an axe. I'm like, no, that's a great axe. You need to level up a regular axe. I just spent the great majority of the stream doing 5D calculus to get this one item leveled up so I could use something in the catacombs and also try out one of the boss souls. And it was the wrong item. Why? Because of esoteric bullshit. So at this point, I'd had enough of this. I'd asked some questions. I was like, well, how do I prevent, how do I know what's going on with this? And I said, fuck it. I can't deal with this anymore. This is ridiculous. I'm looking them up. People told me not to look this stuff up because the joy of discovery is really good. And you know what? They're right. They're correct. They're the correct ones. But what am I doing? Not that. Not being correct. Because the game is full of esoteric bullshit because it's an RPG and they don't want to tell you anything at all ever. So I have to look it up on the wiki. That's where my joy of discovery is. It's on the wiki because if I don't look it up, I'll never see it. I'll never experience it. I still won't have the joy of discovery. I still don't have the joy of discovery. Like both options, I do not joyfully discover anything because one is I miss it completely and I didn't know it was there. Two is I have to look everything up on the wiki. And I hate that because you know what a wiki is? It's a menu outside of the game. It's somehow even worse, but probably better organized and easier to use. So now I just look up all the boss weapons. We had seen enough of the souls already. It's not like I spoiled anything. It's not, it's not like I even worry about that stuff. It's just finally here's all the answers. And what do? Well, I have to click through. I'm like, do I even care about this weapon? Because the effort it just took me to go through this, to discover it, is insane. There's so many weapons I don't care about. I'm working a strength build. I like big, heavy weapons. There's a reason I leveled the great axe and not the regular axe. Because I like a big weapon that makes a big slam and does a big lot of damage. So that's all I care about. So I just looked up all the boss weapons. I clicked on each one to see what it did and how it worked and be like, do I want that? No. Do I want this? No. Do I want this? No. And you know what? It saved a ridiculous amount of time because I eliminated 90% of the list. I was like, okay, I don't need to worry about that no more. I don't need to worry about that no more. I don't need to worry about that no more. Because what does the information do? It helps you play the game properly, right? Because the game is interesting because you don't know anything, but the game is crazy because you don't know anything. Right, like this game is old enough and obscure enough. It does not strike that balance really well. I think it does for the lore. I actually enjoy this kind of like hidden lore that you slowly piece together. But game mechanics? Dude, I read the manual. I was so like confused about just how the attacks and stuff work and how people know about these attacks and how parries work and how there's like a partial parry and all this stuff. It's like, how do you know this? The game never tells you. You just die all the time and you're expected to just, I don't know, pull the answer out of the ether, hopefully, before you die another 100 times. Right? So I looked up the manual. I was like, I bet it's the old game. I bet it all has all this esoteric information in the manual. It does not. It just doesn't tell you jack shit. This game just doesn't tell you how to play it, which look, there's a lot to be said for not holding your hand, and there's a lot of times I like when a game doesn't, you know, doesn't do everything for you and lets you discover some stuff. But there's some stuff that's like just basic what partial parry? Why is that not explained? It gives you it has a specific sound, it has a specific action. There are specific things that happen to let you know, except you wouldn't know about it unless somebody told you. That's just wasting my time, right? Not giving me all the information I need. Okay? Just like with these weapons, do you realize how much time and effort it takes to plus something to plus 10? You're like, well, Captain, you suck. I can plus 10 stuff in 30 minutes or like in 3 minutes because I know where all the good. Yes, because you know the esoteric information. I do not. So it's wasting my time until you do. That's not a good design. That's not good. That's not the RPG liking you. That's the RPG hating you and making fun of you. And then you feel good because you overcome it. And I will agree, you do feel good when you overcome it. It's one of the joys of RPG is having the knowledge, and then the game is fundamentally different, easier. Like on New Game Plus, well, I have all this knowledge now. I can do really cool things with it. I think that's great. I think it's great for things like where the items are, where they have items hidden, how to beat some bosses and some enemies. That's all great. But like how to just basically upgrade your weapon? Why does that need to be hidden knowledge? Except to waste my time with bullshit esoteric knowledge that no one would know unless somebody told them or they looked it up. Right? There's no other way to do it. Unless you want to spend hundreds of years testing things to figure it out, which thankfully people on the wiki have done. So I can just look it up and have someone tell me, the people who collectively spent hundreds of years, and then we can figure it out. So suffice it to say, I do not have a cool boss weapon. I do have a plus 10 axe I can use in the catacombs, but I probably should make another one so I could have a cooler axe to use in the catacombs, because it might be the only time I use that weapon, because I'm using a different one for everything else, right? And if I go and clear the one thing that I need to use the weapon for, well, then I'll never get to use it, which also sucks. And I wouldn't even know that unless I had looked it up. I would have just done it with the axe that I had and thought, well, maybe it's a different blacksmith that lets you do it. Would have went through the whole game and like, man, I never got to make that cool axe. And then the game's over, so I never got to make the cool axe. Then we killed a few dragons in Dragontown. I told you I would tie this into point 3. I killed the dragons in Dragontown and thought I couldn't go in the door. I still haven't been in the door. I left. People made fun of me. And then finally, later on, after I suffered through some more menus, they told me I missed a switch. Is that on me? Yeah. Why did everybody know it but me? Because they have the esoteric bullshit information. Apparently there's a switch there. I don't know. I couldn't see it. The game is very dark. But to be fair, that's on me. But also, it's still bullshit esoteric information. I told you I tied in. So that's as far as we got. I was in the menus the whole time, trying to figure out the upgrades the whole time for no reason, because I upgraded the wrong thing, right? If I had done all that, it's the same upgrades to upgrade something else. If I had done all that for the right thing, I would have not had to do it all again, right? I wouldn't have to waste more time later. I would have had a better time on the boss. I would have had a better time on the boss if the levels had worked out. I would have had just a better time in general and not wasted all my life if I could have just played the game and all this, things happened more naturally and intuitively in the game where it was leading you to this stuff instead of having to look it up on a wiki and having to spend time in the menus that I want to spend. So this is why RPGs suck. This is why RPGs waste your time. Levels suck. Menus suck. Oh, why? How does menus relate to RPGs? I should point that out. RPGs have more menus than almost any other type of game because they want to stick you in gearing and levels and stat sheets because that's part of it. Right? What was two like leveling up items? Sucks. What was I don't know. I think I had another one in there. I think I did. I think I did. There was a 2.8. All right, and the last one, esoteric bullshit that you just wouldn't know unless you look up. So you have to spend time outside of the game looking stuff up. I hate all these things. I hate them all. I love RPGs. I hate so many things about RPGs because they waste my time. And then I feel like, right, I had less fun because less of my time was devoted to fun and it was devoted to things that were wasting my time that weren't fun. That's my rant. That's my rant. This is a long enough video. That's my rant on why RPGs suck and they waste your time, but also is my Dark Souls diary number. What the hell number was this? Number 22. That's what we did today. Jack shit. We killed 5 blue dragons, unique blue dragons, and then the boss. Oh, I did kill the trap. You know what? I did kill the trap dragon. I did kill the trap dragon. We cheesed the hell out of it because I am a pathetic degen gamer that could not face it one-on-one, and I felt bad, but I didn't even care at that point. It was funny, and we killed it. I would look. I'll say that RPGs are great. A lot of people like these things, but even if you don't like these things, like me, RPGs are still great because they have great stories and they usually have great combat systems and they just have great worlds and great immersion, and there's just so much to love about RPGs in spite of all this bullshit. I don't think you need all that. I think you got rid of all that, your RPG will be better. But that's it. That's my rant. That's my Dark Souls diary number 22. I hope you enjoyed listening. I enjoyed getting it off my chest. I'll probably rant again in the future. Hopefully we actually get something done tomorrow, because we're going to play Dark Souls again. But I hope you have a lovely day. Have a good whatever you're going to do, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. I wasn't near the click stop. Goodbye.